There you go. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do. I'll give you a block with your knees bent. Yeah, I'll give you a block to put between your thighs. Yeah, just a little bit lower. There you go. And then if you would take the belt and wrap it around your thighs.
Around my thigh?
Yeah, so it comes around like the middle of your thighs like that. Yep. And if you could buckle it. And just tighten it to it snug. I don't want it to be, you know, at all restrictive, blood flow, or painful. Just so it's snug.
Yeah, to get the complicated belt.
Oh, you want me to do it? Well, you
like,
had it.
I like the ones that are,
That are what?
you know, where you just
Snap it like a clip.
Yep.
On the old-fashioned way. Okay, I'm gonna let you finish tightening it up so it's to your attention. So the block will.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Comfortable?
Oh yeah.
So I want to use the block and strap with like some isometric contracting of your muscles. So the because you have the strap on, your legs aren't actually going to move anywhere, but we're still going to use the muscles, and we're going to use some opposing muscles. So I want you to think about your legs, your right and your left leg, with maybe about, I want this to be a maximum. Like I don't want you to try and burst the strap open, right? Like just maybe about 30-40% pushing the legs out. Like you're pulling your legs apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you want me to do that now?
Yeah, and maybe just do that. Yeah, do that for an inhale. And then as you exhale, squeeze the block. And then repeat. Inhale. And again, I want you to be able to have the choice of your breath. I just started you off with the inhale and then the exhale, but if you want to switch which motion you do the inhale with. Just a couple more times. All right, how's that feel? So we've got two motions, right? So let's talk about the first one with your legs going apart. Do you feel like you have any discomfort or any bracing or any, you know, like if we're
It's
looking for
no, when I go out, nothing. But it's when you go from the outer to the inner.
Okay. What do you feel when you go from the out to the in?
I call this compression as I come in. I can feel a little bit of unstableness around the base. So let me do it again.
Sure. Take your time.
It's gone now. Okay, there it went. Okay, so going into decompression,
Okay, so
outer,
out, yep.
I felt a little hesitancy at the base of the thigh, where the
Okay.
attachments are.
Okay, like where the hamstrings or the base
Yeah,
of the thigh?
yeah. This is a great exercise. So when I go from outer and right when I go to going into the inner,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a hesitancy by a second.
Okay. From outer to inner.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was feeling.
And you feel that in a certain area? Like is in making the movement itself, or is it
It reacts into the hamstring attachments.
Okay, so let's take it down a notch and let's see if we can do like only like 20%, so like just a mild opening,
Okay.
like and then the same amount of pressure onto the block. How does that feel? Any different in the area where you said you had some hesitation?
Yeah, there's not that. It doesn't
Okay.
exist anymore.
And I also, when we made the change, like decreased the power, like the strength of the contraction, I saw a decrease in, like, I saw a little bit of like that hips looking like they were trying to lift off the mat before we reduced it, like when you were going full strength.
Yes.
I felt
That
a
would
little
make sense.
a little bit of a and then when you did it the second time with the change, the pelvis was nice and relaxed, stable on the. So I'll give this to you for your homework with staying in that range where you don't have the hesitancy and you don't have any lift of the pelvis off the mat. Feels okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got your breath coordinated with that?
It's good.
Awesome. So can you list back to me the 3 things that we're sending you home with today? It's a test question time.
It is the 2 block
Okay, yes?
on each side, and I lift halfway, not all the way,
Correct.
and back down.
And what
And I'm going
limits
to
how far?
coordinate the breath with it at the same time.
Right?
And we want to stop at a point where perfection has been displayed. But also coordinating the breath with that. Okay.
Yeah, and I call that marching. Just so
marching.
If I say the word marching, you know what that you know what that
so
means,
that's
right?
marching.
Marching, right? With no rotation of the pelvis, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So just again back to that pure movement of the leg in the march. And remember the left leg, we did a little bit of the drag on the block before we marched, right? We dragged the left along the top of the block, whereas the right leg picked up without the hip, without the pelvis moving, right? I'll make sure I put that in.
So do you want me to slide it off the block with the left leg first?
Correct.
Before going into
going into the march. Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay. The second thing you wanted me to do was to lay out the left leg straight and bring the right leg ankle over the left leg and slowly slide it up the anterior tibialis.
Yep.
Or if it was brevis, excuse me.
Yep.
Peroneus brevis up slowly.
Yeah, on the front of the shin. Yep, that's right.
And slowly back down.
Yep.
And coordinating the breath with it.
Yep.
And repeat on the other side.
Excellent. And then the third one?
The third one is is
strap and block, I call it.
strap and block, compression and decompression.
And how would you describe the range that you'll stay
Only
in?
like 40%.
We cut it from 40 to 20.
I
I'd
thought
like
you
to
said
stay-
40%.
We started at 40,
Okay.
and then we tried to cut it in half. So let's stay at 20,
At 20, okay.
right? And the numbers don't matter. It's just that we want to be in a range where we're not seeing compensation. So also, I wanted to touch on
And
Sorry, go
breathing with all of
yes,
it.
all of the breathing. Again, I don't want you to feel like you're locked into a pattern. I want you to breathe, and it's important to be breathing, and we're not holding our breath, but not locked into you have to inhale here or have to exhale then. You can try and do what works for you. And I would just like to touch base with when I asked for your homework, that I noticed the choice of words you used to come back to me with. You said what you want me to do, referring to me, correct? And I'd like to kind of switch that around, and for this to be teamwork, of course I want you to do that, but I also want you to want to do it for yourself. So I ask you just to be mindful of your language, so it's also inclusive of us. This is what we're going to do. This is you're going to do this. Like, I can't do it for you. You
Right.
know all that.
Thank you, teacher.
Awesome. Do you have any questions, concerns? If you do, later.
I'm
always
just
ask
curious about a breath thing that coordinates with yoga. Because normally, as my leg comes in,
Yeah.
you want that torso to be flattened out. So that would mean that it would be an exhale as the leg comes towards the torso. Is that should be mindful in what we're doing with this?
I think that there are many schools of thoughts on how to coordinate the breath. You know, like some people coordinate the exhale should be on the exercise, like the most muscle contraction hard. Like, you know, when you do a squat, your work is all pushing up, right? So they say we should exhale on the pushing up. And I know right now we're not doing something as aggressive as a deep squat. But I think I'm trying to go with the breath that works for you,
Okay.
and not a structured breath or follow any rules, because I think that we're kind of in the experiment zone and seeing what works for you,
Okay.
and not trying to follow hard, fast rules. So just kind of leaving that door open
All right.
and see what we find.
All right.
Awesome.
That's all.
All right, great. Thank you very much.